Are you looking to get into real estate investing, but you don't know where to find the best deals? Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the top 6 places to find the best real estate bargains so that you can start investing. If you guys don't know me, hi, my name is Tiffany, and I've been investing in real estate for the past 3 years. And I've also been working alongside my mom, who is a realtor and a real estate investor who has now grown her portfolio to over $1 million. So I guess you could say that I've had a pretty good mentor. Now, everyone knows the market is pretty hectic right now, and it's so hard to find a good deal, especially with these interest rates going through the roof. So now more than ever, it's important to know where you can find the best deals, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Starting off with number 1, and probably one of my favorites, is to look at foreclosures going on in your county. One of my favorite ways to find these deals is you can go directly to your county's website and look at the foreclosure tab, and they should have a list of all of the homes going to foreclosure. Now, what even is a foreclosure? Someone buys a house, most of the time they have to borrow money from the bank, so now they owe a fixed amount every month to the bank. And some people stop paying their monthly payments, so the bank is forced to take their house, put it under foreclosure in order to be able to get their money back. Auctions usually start pretty low, but they do get bid up pretty high considering that there's other people competing with you for that property. Now, leading into number 2, which is Auction.com, you can find plenty of foreclosure deals on here. They give you pretty generic information on all of the homes going up for auction, which you can then do a little more digging and actually find it through the county, so you get all of your information. Now, on Auction.com, I've seen many different houses go for sale for many different reasons, so not all of them are foreclosures, and you can never really know what's going on. They might have liens on them or things that you might have to take care of, which you can't even see because most of the times you can't go into the house. I would say one of my biggest tips when buying properties at any of these websites is to obviously go and drive around the property, even if you can't go inside, because just by the neighborhood or by the condition on the outside, you can usually tell whether the house is taken care of, whether it's in good condition, and whether it's even worth anything. Number 3 might be a little familiar just because this is how I bought my mobile home that you guys know and love. It is your county's tax deed sales. Now, similarly to foreclosures, essentially this is when someone stops paying their property taxes to the government, so the government takes their property and has to put it up for auction in order to pay back all those dues that the owner never paid. You can find super good deals on this just because people stop paying their property taxes, and that is until someone starts bidding it up, because everyone's on the lookout for those good deals. As you guys know, I bought a property at a tax deed sale over 2 years ago. I purchased it for $12,000, even though at the time, right off the bat, it was already being worth $20,000. So that just kind of goes to show that you can find really good deals for a super good bargain and still make money off of it.
I like money.
Or if you want to expand a little more, you can take the property that you bought, which was for me an empty lot, and I decided to put a mobile home on it, blending the two together, and now I have a property that's worth over $150,000. And if you guys want to learn more about how I did that, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to make a video explaining. For these tax deed sales, they usually have online auctions. I've seen multiple counties here in Florida do everything online. However, I do know that a lot of counties also only do in-person or live auctions, so you really want to go to your courthouse and ask them for more information if there's any properties. Now, number 4 is the National Treasury site or any federal government sites that auction off seized homes. Essentially what this is if someone breaks the law and they end up going to prison, the government is basically required to seize their property in certain cases. Essentially goes up for auction and people can buy them online. This one is definitely for a little bit more of an established investor, just because the properties on these websites are a little more expensive, and I'm sure that they require a little more research just to make sure that there are no liens on it from other companies. Most of these auction sites that I'm mentioning are all cash. So for the most part, you usually can't get a loan for these types of deals just because they're so obscure and you have to have the money in hand in order to snag them. So next up on my list are probate sales. Probate sales are a little different because essentially when someone passes away and they have nobody to leave their properties or their physical things to, that property then gets auctioned off. Now, I'm not too familiar with probate sales. I think they're a little more exclusive than a lot of the other sites that I'm talking about, just because for the most part, I have seen either paid websites for you to find probate deals, or I have seen that you have to get in contact with a probate lawyer, and usually they get the cases gone through them, so they have access to see which properties are actually going up for auction. But if anyone knows more, leave a comment down below, because I would love to research this topic more and be able to share it with you guys. Now, the last one that I'm going to mention is also one that we have previously used to buy Bluey, our house remodel that we have been working on for the last 6 months. If you guys want to see a video tour on that, go ahead and click up here. And the website that I'm mentioning is Hubzu.com. This one is very similar to Auction.com. However, from what I've seen on Auction.com, I don't think you can actually bid on certain properties. On Hubzu, this is not the case. You can go in and bid directly within their website. Not to mention, in this particular case, we were able to actually go inside and see the house. With my mom being a realtor, this was pretty easy for us, so I wouldn't be surprised if you guys were able to do the same through this website. I never really know why these houses go up for auction. Sometimes they mention it, sometimes they don't. You do want to be wary and do your own research, so you make sure you're not buying a property with liens and that you have a clean title. But because this is a more established site, I think that they do go through a title company depending on who you're purchasing it from. Now, this is a great website for you guys to go in and do some research, get some knowledge about your area, and see what kind of good deals you can find before actually jumping in and purchasing. One of the things that we kind of didn't like about this particular website was the fact that they had a buyer's premium, which basically means that depending on the sale price of the bid and the house and whoever wins it, you actually have to pay a percentage fee to the actual website, which for us in this case was about $4,000. Another thing that we noticed that we weren't quite a fan of is the fact that when we were bidding for this property, we ended up winning the first time, but it had not met their reserve price, which we didn't even know about. So they came back and emailed us and told us even though we had won the bidding, we didn't actually get to buy the property because we needed to bid their minimum requirement. A positive note though is that I have seen that some of the houses that you purchase, you can actually get a loan for. Now, I know I told you guys that I was only going to do 6. However, I do have a few more that I decided to share. So if you guys are liking this video so far, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Now, I think one of the best deals that you could possibly get in is with an investor or someone who already knows what they're doing if this is your first time, or you can just kind of pay attention and see what's going on in the market, who's purchasing all the properties around, and just driving through the neighborhoods and seeing kind of what's going on. Now, this next one, again, I'm not too familiar with. However, I have seen a lot of people deal with wholesalers. They find it for a good deal, offer it to the owner, and then they come back and offer it to you for a little bit of a markup, but it's just not as good a deal as the wholesaler is getting directly from the seller. Sure, you can find these types of wholesalers anywhere, but I think some of the places to begin networking might be Craigslist, Facebook groups, or any other social media platform that might have that community, but just make sure that they are trustworthy and do your research beforehand. So just to recap, you guys have plenty of options to go out and find killer real estate deals in your area, even though this market is not in the best shape. And always remember to think outside the box, because sometimes a good looking property is not the best investment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this information, and all of the video content that I'm putting out for you guys. And as always, I appreciate you guys and thank you so much. Mwah!